Hey guys, welcome back. And today we are going to take a look at the Ultimate Stripe figure by Neca, part of the Gremlins line. Let's take a look real quick right here. We have got a lot of window that is reflecting everything. We can't really see anything. See if we can get a better look at it real quick. Alright, so we have got this and we're still reflecting quite a bit, but this is the little promotional image we got on the flap of the box here. And we are going to open up this bad boy right here, take a look at him, see what we think. Alright, so I'm pulling out of the packaging now. Just going to get him out of here. Alright, so we have got ourselves another Gremlin. This is Stripe, main one. Everybody knows and recognizes him. Comes with chainsaw, like it seen at the end of the movie. Some saw blades, because who doesn't love to toss those around when you're an evil little 2-foot demon thing. And then we've got ourselves a little skateboard. Actually, it looks more like a longboard to us here, but whatever. So let's go ahead and pull him all out of the packaging, get him and his accessories out, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so straight out of the box, we have got, like I said, the chainsaw right here. In my opinion, does feel relatively cheap compared to some of the accessories that NECA does come with. It's very soft plastic. I don't got too much to say about it. It is very visually pleasing until you actually hold it and look at the backside. The backside's my biggest problem with it, which just seems a little bit wide, which makes the front side seem a little flat, in my opinion. But all in all, don't have too much to complain about with this. Now, as you can see, we got a little bit of this hair already coming off because, it's striped. He does have this mohawk thing fresh out of the box. You're going to want to play with it a little bit to get it kind of where you want. Be warned, it does seem to just kind of cotton candy and pull right out. I don't have too much of a nitpick with this because I actually like the fact that they went with like a real kind of hair versus like, just like some plastic rubber like accessory for the head. And if you have long hair at all, you'll know that it's not too hard to mess around with something and get into a mohawk shape. Now, the only thing I don't like about it is right here. You can see it's got kind of like a gauze texture at the bottom here. Comes down rather far. I'm not sure, I can't recall in the movie him actually having, what do we want to call this, mullet, so to speak. It was like the mohawk, I feel like it should have been here to here, not down his back, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert on the movie, and that's just my opinion. Now, skateboard, we've got whole little, we've got actual mobility there and everything. I'm sure, like, a lot of people have had those little thumb trick boards growing up and everything. At least I know I did. Don't remember how to do anything with it, but, kind of a good little accessory there. I'm sure we could do some fun stuff with that. Now, then, saw blade, if we can pick it up. Really flat. Okay, let's just, do that. Really nice and flat, and see, like, we got some hair on there too and everything. It's just kind of falling apart all over the place, but nice little detail there and everything. Now onto the figure himself. As with the Ultimate Gremlin, seems we've got the same kind of mobility on articulation just from looking at him. We've got the mouth open and close. We have got a nice little articulation on the head here. Now, give me a second because I'm literally just holding a phone with one hand and this guy with the other. Let's see if we can get a better angle here. All right, so move this stuff out of the way. We have got head, nice, always nice. We've got a little mobility with the neck. So the head twists, the neck twists separately. Now it feels pretty stiff. Like I could probably turn it a little further, but I don't see the need to really do that. We have got shoulder. Now out of the box, a lot of these guys do come kind of stiff. I know a lot of people will take their figures, put them in a bag, boil them in some hot water, like hot water. You don't need it fully boiling or anything. And honestly, I'll just like nuke like a cup or something for a little while and just see how that does. Let it soak in there for a little bit, but Ziploc bag it because I worry about paint chipping and all that good stuff. Now then, we can also twist around the ears. Kind of jumping back and forth here, but the only problem with the shoulder articulation with this guy, I don't remember being on the Ultimate Gremlin himself, but we can double check that. If you look here, he has got kind of little shoulder armor kind of thing going on here, which stops his shoulder joint from actually lifting too much, but you position it around, you can get more of a mobility with him. But then we also got our elbow joint, which I like how stiff a lot of these joints are, just for the fact that most of my stuff in my collection, which is what I like about Neca, perfect made for collection, it's gonna end up sitting on a shelf. So if we look, I've got the Ultimate Gremlin sitting right there. These guys are all pretty much gonna sit around just the same. So I like the fact that once you pose them, they're pretty much gonna stay in their pose. Now then, wrist movement, and we do got a little bit of bend to them too. It's just getting that ball joint where you want it. I don't know if we can see this too clearly here. Right there's your ball joint, and as far as I can tell, that is not articulated to swing around. So you kind of gotta mess about with like what you're really trying to do here. So you get this little kind of side to side little jerky off motion. But same thing with the other side, twist, bend here. We got the up and down. We've got that very minute, little chicken wing thing going on. Then, we got our feet. We have got the same thing as on that Ultimate. We have got that joint here, here, and here. So gives you a lot of decent opportunities to do things. And then we do have the abdomen articulation as well, which is perfect for me because, as you could see, I've got a few gremlins. I'm going to set them up. I'm in the process of building a little table. I'm going to set them up, playing poker on it, sitting on chairs. So I like the fact that you can kind of give them a little bit of mobility there to bend and be able to get them into a chair. So that's going to be fun. So let's set him up with some accessories, see how he looks, mess around with his mohawk. Alright, so here he is holding the chainsaw. We've messed a little bit about with his hair, and honestly, if you kind of want it to stay exactly the way you want it whenever you finally get it in that perfect position, a little bit of product is probably what I'd recommend. Maybe some hairspray or something, but I wouldn't overdo it with anything because, like I said, this hair is already kind of falling out. Now, this is one of the problems I have with figures is they'll throw an accessory in there, like, with him, obviously, in the movie, he had the chainsaw. My biggest problem with them adding this chainsaw in, it's very big, it's very bulky. He doesn't have an alternate set of hands, so he doesn't quite grip it that well. And if we look back here, he's not really holding it. It's kind of more resting on the top of his hand. Now, all of that aside, that is fine. I have no issue with that. But the size of this to him and the weight made it very difficult to get him in the standing up pose. Now, if I bump this table, he's going to fall. I guarantee it. So if I just give it a little bump, maybe not. But he was very difficult to find a pose that he would actually stand up in. But I messed around, and I did actually find out you can tilt his head up and down. It just feels very, very stiff. Now, that's something I did not note in the articulation, but it was a cool feature to find out. See, now we're not going to get him to stand up with this again. Yep, there he goes. He's going to fall down. Well, okay, we're going to let him fall down for a second, and right there he looks like Violator. So, still really cool figure. I do like the hair. Love when they actually add hair to a figure rather than making it, plastic resin, like, whatever the figure itself is made out of, and just painting it on there. But we'll go ahead and see if we can get him set up on the skateboard and see if we can get this in his hand while he's riding it and pretty much finish this review. Okay, so we've got him standing on the skateboard. I did try to see if we can make him kind of grab the edge of the skateboard and, see if he could grab both edges even, like the front and the back side. Wasn't really working in our favor here, so let's see if we can get a good focus in on here. And like I said, that hair just, it's not really trying to stay with what I want it to do, so messing about. So, I'm holding that. There's a few different ways I tried putting it in there, and he does hold it a few different kinds of ways. It's just kind of preference on which way you want him to hold that. If we take a close look at his hands, this hand would probably be the hand that you would want to kind of put something in to throw, but this is the hand I had up, and he does hold it rather nicely between his 3 fingers. Now, one thing I do want to point out about these is that they're part of the 7-inch range. I don't have a ruler right now, but he stands roughly around, I want to say about 6.5 inches, probably 6 to 6.5 is what I'm guesstimating. Most of what Neca does is this 7-inch line, and he is a great figure. But one of my buddies did point out to me and raise the question, don't you think it's a little bit big for being a Gremlin? And my response to that is simple. I really like this size. I do. I like the 7-inch size. But where the question comes in, are you going to do a Gremlins setup with them? Or are you going to try to pose them with some other things, like some humanoid characters or even anything else in the Neca brand? He is going to stand tall and not be to scale with them. So, there's that. But in my opinion, it's not a big deal. I really like the paint, the detail. Looking there, you kind of get that whole moist mouth feel and everything. You see like the depth of those eyes, definitely evil and everything. You gotta love it. It's a great figure. I do love it. I would say probably about a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I like the way they tried with doing the hair. It's just, you're gonna have to play with it. You're just gonna have to play with it. And my biggest problem is bulky accessory, weighing the figure down, making him hard to pose with it. He doesn't want to stand up holding stuff. And if you're going to include an accessory, in my opinion, he should be able to hold it and pose with it. But that's just a small gripe. There's ways around it. One of my buddies also said, just a little bit of kind of like tacky putty on their feet, and you can get pretty much any character to pose any which way you want. But so yeah, we got the ultimate stripe. like I said, probably rating him about a 7 out of 10. The Ultimate Gremlin, I think I gave like an 8.5 or something like that. I'd have to double check, but all in all, I prefer the Ultimate Gremlin to the Stripe. Now, if you want the main character of the first movie, main big bad, you're gonna want Stripe. Now, if you just want a Gremlin that's a really good figure, I'd go with the Ultimate Gremlin. Next video we're going to take a look at the Ultimate Flasher Gremlin, and we'll see how he compares. But all in all, great job, Neca.